any slave running for freedom had to face the river, and that river was very treacherous. The whole time they were crossing the river, they were looking at one thing, the steeple. If they could just get to that steeple, they would be safe.
The 150-foot steeple is that of Second Baptist Church, a landmark in New Albany that played a key role in the pre-Civil War Underground Railroad. It all began when a mostly white Presbyterian congregation dedicated the church in 1852.
There were African Americans who belonged to that church, and that laid the groundwork for the anti-slavery pastors and leaders who were to follow.
In the years after the Civil War, the Presbyterian congregation moved to Elm Street, selling the building to a predominantly black congregation.
Second Baptist bought the building in 1889, and probably around 1915, a storm came through and blew the steeple off.
The steeple was gone, but the clock remained, giving the landmark its nickname, the Town Clock Church. But as the decades passed, time took its toll.
When I got here 9 years ago, this building probably would have been condemned.
Then, on just another day in 2013, a surprise visitor came along.
A guy came and knocked on the door. He said, "Can I come in?" I said, "Yeah, we're getting ready to start Bible study." And he says, "Well, God told me to come over and help you with your church renovation." I said, "Well, that's great, but we don't have a church renovation project going right now."
The surprise visitor was Irv Stumler, a retired business owner and volunteer construction manager, and one of the friends he brought along was Jerry Finn.
When Irv and I decided to take on this project, we knew in order to raise funds, we needed to have some type of organization that would oversee that.
Friends of the Town Clock Church.
The first thing I wanted to do was talk to our good friends, Alice and Jerry Miles.
It was hard to imagine how we could really ever get to where we are right now.
Basically, it was 3 phases. First one, the 911 phase, was the clock tower. The gutters were leaking. There were big chunks of plaster that had fallen out the ceiling here. The second phase was the stained glass windows. The stained glass windows had not been touched for over 100 years. And then phase 3 was to put the steeple back on. So the total price tag was $480,000. I think most people thought we were crazy.
The fundraising team was mobilized, starting with the Second Baptist congregation itself.
We went from $0 to over $730,000.
Things have really changed since 1950. We had to do tons of steel in this attic. We had replaced a lot of the clock mechanism.
The day the steeple went up, it was a hot, sunny day.
The steeple was a magnificent event.
It is a beacon just all over the city.
The original plan was just the exterior of the church. We're now in phase 6.
The Friends of the Town Clock Church brought their efforts inside, repairing plaster, recapturing the stenciling, and restoring the original gasoliers. The church gained even more attention in 2017 when the U.S. Park Service designated Second Baptist as a National Network to Freedom site, confirming its role in the Underground Railroad.
There's a lot of history in this building. We have undercrofts where it's been reported that slaves were down in the undercroft under the building.
My thoughts go to the steeple for the light that this church can be in the community.
Being a light means you do something that changes the world, that you do something that gets rid of the darkness.
Congratulations to Second Baptist Church, winner of Indiana Landmark's 2018 Cook Cup for Outstanding Restoration, with thanks to the Friends of the Town Clock Church.